So guys, we are now on the last summit of the entire month here in Motorfest, and with that we will have the one, honestly, I've been really waiting for. Has this really cool looking Lamborghini, which yes, you can also drive this thing in the summit if you are wondering. So taking a look at that right now, guys, it's fully hypercar. I wonder what gave that away. You'll have an escape, a slalom, and a Trackforge event. And to be honest, a lot of people probably like this entire summit because there's no insane events like the last previous ones, which I can tell many people did not like those. Nonetheless, though, let's jump right into this. So the first thing you'll have to do here is a slalom, guys, in a Lamborghini specific vehicle. So if you want, you could pretty much use any of the Lamborghinis that you own. The only thing you might want to have is a half score breaker. With that, you will easily be able to get 157,000 points. I mean, I literally messed up in the middle of the run and still got a maxed out score. So these slaloms are honestly super easy to do. The escape, on the other hand, though, I have a feeling this is probably not going to go over very well with a lot of players. I think many might get a bit frustrated with it. But guys, what you want to do though is go past the objective and turn around and then go that way. You'll pretty much have to beat that one corner. There's like 3 corners you'll have to get around. The one specifically is by like a tennis or some type of tennis court or something. But you have to get around that turn. Once you can get past that, you're pretty much good to go to get over 5,000 yards. But I do feel like a lot of players might end up having issues with this one, as depending on the car, depending on your run, if you can't get past that corner, you basically will have an issue getting a higher score. Besides that though, guys, the Trackforge event here is honestly pretty dang easy to do. It's a bit longer of an event, and I could probably jump back in and easily get a better score. There is no nitrous in this one, by the way, so keep that in mind. You basically have to drive your car with no nitrous, and you got to focus on keeping your speed up. Maybe if you're running manual, that can help a bit. There is a lot of tighter corners in this, but the big thing is getting a good racing line, and getting faster that way is probably your best option. For the top left event here, though, is multi-vehicle. Before you guys say anything, it is probably not what you think. On this, it's basically 2 laps. You go around each lap with a different Lamborghini. Specifically, you get to drive the car that's in this, which I will show you guys here. Looking at this right now, guys, this is the car there. And then the next car you'll have to drive after that, though, is the other new car that was added. So it's the Fenomeno, something like that. I don't know. Either way, you have to drive this one and the other car. This is basically a 2-lap event. To be honest, there's a lot of tight corners in different areas, so probably doing the track a few times and learning the routes and the good lines and all that is something I would definitely recommend doing. From there, though, the next thing will be the Bolder Than Ever, which is another hypercar loaned event. This one's a little bit more open, way more areas to keep your speed up and be much faster. There's also some cuts here and there you guys could easily do in some of these, so do keep an eye out for those, as I kind of feel like they will end up helping a good amount, depending on if you can cut them right and not spin out in the dirt. But either way, though, this race is much faster than the previous one. The next race from there, though, will be a race you guys have probably done a lot of times before, including pretty much just doing it, but also in previous summits. I've kind of lost the amount of times and also the track of the amount of times I've seen this race in a summit. But it is going to be a 2-lap race, guys. Fairly simple. There's a few cuts you could do here and there to cut down a little bit on that. But overall, though, this race is honestly pretty dang simple, man. It's nothing too crazy about this one at all, really. The next one from there, though, I would say is probably going to be, again, on the faster side, similar to the middle top race there. This is going to be on the right coast race. You guys have probably ended up recognizing this one as well. The biggest thing is keep your speed up, guys. Again, be careful around the corners and make sure on the one part by the water over there on the coast side, there's a lot of turns in different areas. Make sure you keep those lines perfectly to keep that speed up in that area. I did end up using the Fenomeno, which I was like, you know what, maybe I won't run this car, maybe I'll try a different one, but to be honest, I just wanted to try this car out. No pro settings whatsoever, by the way. I actually like this car without pro settings, so I didn't run them at all, and I still got pretty dang good times. And also doing nighttime races without my contact lenses in, man, was truly something. I'm not gonna lie there, but I would say if I could get 1,355,000 points without contact lenses in, squinting in the nighttime races and barely being able to see that well, I think everybody could probably also get into platinum. The next race from there, though, guys, again, fairly simple to do. This is also another lap-focused event here. It really isn't too crazy, bro. I think a lot of these races are pretty simple to do. You will easily recognize most of them, and I think a lot of players, once they jump in, they start doing them. They're like, oh, yeah, this race. Okay, I remember this one. This race, though, is also kind of a shorter, again, lap focused race. There is curbs you can jump over here to make things a little bit quicker, but be careful, though, as sometimes they can mess your car up and spin you out. So, yeah, when you are cutting, do be careful on that. But, guys, the final event here is on the track, okay? We all know this one is on the Hanauma racetrack. It's very short. It's around 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I would say out of all the events, this one is probably the easiest. Funny part is I did not drive good and still got 2 minutes and 26 seconds on this. So I could easily shave off probably 2 or 3 seconds if I would stop braking so late and driving like I wasn't actually trying to drive very good. I could easily get a better score. So I would say there's a lot of leeway here to easily do good on a lot of these events. The big thing is to practice and to keep going through them, learning the lines and all that good stuff. I also do think the escape, though, is most likely going to frustrate some players. But overall, though, guys, that will do it for this summit. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I will say, though, this Lamborghini is pretty dope.